Hey Taurus, welcome to this reading, and I need you to really settle in because what's coming through is absolutely profound. This is a general reading for entertainment purposes, so take what resonates with your situation and leave what doesn't. I'm interpreting the energy I see in these cards, and this isn't meant to replace professional advice. What I'm picking up is a powerful story about financial abundance making its way to you, but simultaneously, there's this intense karmic revelation unfolding. Someone in your orbit has discovered something about the spiritual work you've been doing, the energy you've been directing. And Taurus, this discovery has left them dealing with consequences they never anticipated. The cards are showing me that your manifestation work, your protection rituals, your spiritual practices have created ripples that are now coming back around in the most fascinating way. I shuffled specifically asking about this money heading your direction and about this person who's been affected by uncovering your workings. What came through tells a complete story of justice, abundance, karmic balance, and the power of what you've been creating behind the scenes. These two threads are deeply connected, and as we move through these 10 cards, you're going to see exactly how your past work manifests present results. The energy feels dense with truth, with revelation, with the kind of cosmic justice that reminds us nothing stays hidden forever. When I pulled the Devil card first, I felt immediate heaviness in my solar plexus and knew we were starting with the shadow side of everything. The Devil shows a figure chained between two smaller figures, all bound to this pedestal. And what's really interesting is those chains around their necks are loose enough to slip off. This tells me everything about your situation, Taurus. This card reveals the energy of someone who's been bound to their own toxic patterns, their obsessive thoughts about you, their need to control or manipulate or undermine what you've been building. The Devil represents bondage to materialism, addiction, unhealthy attachments, and in this reading about money coming to you and someone being affected by discovering your spiritual work, this shows me the exact frequency this person operates from. They've been trapped in jealousy, in comparison, in desperate need to keep you small or benefit from your diminishment. What I'm getting is this person has been engaging in their own negative energy work, whether consciously or unconsciously, trying to block your blessings, trying to keep you stuck in lack, trying to feed off your struggles. The Devil speaks to parasitic relationships, to people who drain your energy because they're disconnected from their own power source. This could be someone financially dependent on your struggle, someone whose ego needs you beneath them, or someone actively working against your success because your rise threatens their superiority. What makes this card powerful right now is it appears as foundation, showing everything about to unfold connects back to this toxic dynamic. The inverted pentagram above the Devil's head represents perverted priorities, spiritual disconnection, worship of material concerns over soul growth. This person has been so consumed by earthly attachments, by what they think they need from you or need to take from you, that they've been working against natural law and karmic flow. Here's what you need to understand. The Devil isn't just about their bondage or toxic patterns. It's revealing you've been aware on some level of this energy. You've felt it. You've sensed something wasn't right with their intentions towards you. Whatever spiritual work you've been doing, whatever manifestation practices or protective measures or energy clearing you've engaged in, you weren't doing it randomly. You were responding to genuine threat to your peace, prosperity, path. The Devil shows there's been real energetic battle happening, and this person has been so deeply entangled in their own negative patterns, they couldn't see how their actions would eventually return to them. The Eight of Pentacles appeared next, and immediately I felt the energy shift from that heavy Devil energy to something grounded and productive. This card shows a craftsman diligently working on pentacle after pentacle, each hanging on the wall as evidence of dedication and skill development. What struck me when this came through is how it directly contrasts with and answers the Devil energy. While someone else has been bound to toxic patterns and obsessive thoughts about you, you've been bound to something completely different. You've been bound to your work, to your craft, to continuous development and improvement. The Eight of Pentacles reveals that the spiritual work this person discovered isn't random spell or casual energy clearing. What they've uncovered is evidence of your sustained dedication to manifesting abundance, to developing skills, to putting in consistent effort toward goals on both material and spiritual planes. This card shows someone who practices their craft daily, who doesn't just wish for abundance, but actively cultivates the skills and discipline required to attract it. I'm seeing you've been engaged in regular manifestation practices, possibly working with specific techniques or rituals repeatedly, refining your approach, learning what works. The repetition shown here, the multiple pentacles representing multiple attempts and completions, tells me you haven't just done one spell or one manifestation session. You've been at this consistently, building momentum, creating pattern of focused intention and action. What's fascinating is how this relates to money coming your way. The Eight of Pentacles traditionally represents mastery through repetition, apprenticeship evolving into expertise, rewards that come from dedicated practice. In context of your situation, this shows your financial breakthrough isn't random luck or unearned windfall. It's a natural result of work you've been putting in, both physical world and spiritual realm. You've been honing your relationship with abundance, practicing gratitude, visualizing prosperity, clearing blocks, probably working on actual skills and careers simultaneously. The figure is completely absorbed in his work, unbothered by outside distractions, reflecting how you've been operating. While this other person obsesses over you, you've been focused on your own development. The spiritual work they discovered represents your commitment to your path, and what's left them ill is realizing that while they wasted energy on negative intentions toward you, you were building something real and powerful. This card also speaks to earning your mastery, understanding that true power comes from practice and dedication rather than shortcuts or manipulation. This is why their discovery has affected them so profoundly. They've been looking for quick fixes, easy paths, ways to take from others rather than build for themselves. And seeing evidence of your disciplined spiritual practice confronts them with their own lack of integrity and effort. The Sun card blazed into this reading, and I literally felt warmth flooding through me, like the universe saying yes to everything you've been working toward. This card depicts a child riding a white horse beneath enormous golden sun, radiating pure joy, innocence, victorious energy. The moment I saw this appear, I knew we're looking at manifestation of your efforts, the breakthrough coming, abundance that's been building behind scenes and is now ready to burst into conscious reality. The sun represents success, vitality, clarity, achievement, the kind of blessings so obvious and undeniable that everyone can see them. What I'm picking up is this financial abundance coming your way isn't going to be subtle or easy to dismiss. It's going to be clear, bright, celebrated, recognized. The sun shines on everything and hides nothing, which means this money, this success, this manifestation of your spiritual work is going to be visible and acknowledged. People are going to notice your rise, your glow, your transformation from wherever you've been to where you're going. In context of someone discovering your spiritual work and becoming ill from that discovery, the Sun card takes on deeper meaning. Their sickness, their discomfort, their karmic consequences happen precisely because your light is becoming too bright to ignore or suppress. The Sun reveals truth. It illuminates what's been hidden in shadow. When you work with spiritual energy authentically, when you align with your highest good and put that intention out consistently, like you've been doing, you create light that eventually becomes undeniable. This person discovered your manifestation work, your spiritual practices, your energetic protection, and the revelation exposed them to reality of what they've been doing. The sun doesn't just reveal your success. It also reveals their jealousy, their manipulation, their attempts to dim your light, and that exposure is what's making them sick. They can't hide anymore. They can't pretend they haven't been working against you. They can't avoid the karmic mirror that your success holds up to their failures. The child on horse represents innocence, joy, purity of someone working with good intentions. Despite whatever this other person has been doing, despite obstacles or negative energy sent your way, you've maintained your integrity. You've worked from place of wanting to create abundance rather than take it from others. You've used spiritual practices to elevate yourself rather than diminish anyone else. The sun validates this approach, showing authentic manifestation work rooted in growth rather than harm creates results that can withstand any scrutiny. Queen of Pentacles arrived, and I felt this deeply grounded, abundant, nurturing energy settle into the reading. This queen sits on throne in lush garden, holding golden pentacle with such confidence and ease, surrounded by flowers and fertility, with rabbits symbolizing abundance at her feet. What I'm sensing immediately is this card represents where you're heading energetically and possibly who you're becoming through this entire experience. The Queen of Pentacles is ultimate manifestation of material and spiritual abundance working in harmony. She's someone who's mastered the art of creating prosperity while maintaining connection to earth, to body, to practical reality. In this reading about money coming and someone affected by discovering your spiritual work, this queen shows the maturity and wisdom you've developed in your relationship with abundance. You're not desperately grasping for money or approaching manifestation from lack and neediness. You're cultivating it like a garden, with patience, with proper care, with understanding of natural cycles and timing. The spiritual work this person discovered reflects this queen's energy because it's been grounded, practical, consistent, rooted in genuine abundance consciousness, rather than manipulation or force. I'm getting you've been working with earth-based practices, possibly involving physical objects, herbs, crystals, or actual planting and growing as part of manifestation rituals. The Queen of Pentacles doesn't just visualize abundance. She creates conditions for it to grow in material world. She takes inspired action. She tends to her resources. She builds sustainable structures for long-term prosperity. This is energy signature of your spiritual work, and it's why money coming to you is going to be stable, reliable, increasing rather than one-time windfall that disappears. What's powerful about this card in relation to someone becoming ill after discovering your work is that Queen of Pentacles represents health, vitality, well-being that comes from living in alignment with natural law. She's in her power, in her body, in right relationship with material world. The person who's been affected negatively by learning about your spiritual practices experiences the opposite. They're out of alignment. They've been violating natural law by trying to block someone else's abundance, by feeding parasitically off another's struggles, by refusing to do their own work to create prosperity. The contrast between their illness and your thriving Queen of Pentacles energy is the karmic lesson playing out. King of Wands burst into this reading with such dynamic, commanding energy that I immediately understood we're looking at major player in how this entire situation unfolds. This king sits on throne holding flowering wand. Salamanders decorating his robe and throne representing transformation through fire, and his gaze is direct and confident. What came through powerfully is this card represents either you stepping into your full creative and manifestation power, or it represents influential person who's going to play a role in this money coming to you. The King of Wands is master manifester of the tarot, someone who takes vision and makes it reality through sheer force of will, passion, leadership. In context of your spiritual work being discovered, this king shows the level of power and mastery you've actually been developing. You're not just dabbling in manifestation. You're not playing with spiritual concepts. You've been cultivating genuine energetic authority and ability to shape reality through focused intention and creative action. The King of Wands doesn't wait for permission or validation. He knows what he wants, knows he has power to create it, moves forward with absolute confidence in his vision. This is energy signature you've been embodying in your manifestation work, and it's part of why this other person has been so affected by discovering what you've been doing. They've realized you're not someone to be trifled with energetically. You're not weak or unconscious or easily manipulated. You've been developing real power, and that power is about to manifest in tangible ways through this incoming money. The salamanders on this king's throne and clothing represent ability to move through fire and emerge transformed and stronger. This connects directly to any challenges or negative energy you've faced. Rather than being destroyed or diminished by obstacles or by others' ill intentions, you've used those experiences as fuel for your transformation. You've alchemized difficulty into determination. You've let resistance strengthen your resolve. The spiritual practices this person discovered show evidence of someone who's been through trials and emerged with greater power and clarity. What I'm sensing about money coming is it's connected to your creative power, your leadership abilities, your capacity to inspire and direct energy towards specific outcomes. This could manifest as opportunities to lead projects, to start your own venture, to be recognized and rewarded for your vision and initiative. Strength appeared, and I felt this profound sense of infinite patience, gentle power, spiritual fortitude flowing through the reading. This card shows figure calmly closing jaws of lion, not through force, but through love, courage, inner mastery. The infinity symbol floating above the figure's head tells me we're looking at eternal spiritual principles at work here. When this card came through, I immediately understood its revealing true nature of the spiritual work someone discovered. You haven't been working with aggressive, forceful, manipulative energies. You've been working with highest form of spiritual power, which is strength through gentleness, transformation through love, protection through raising your own vibration rather than attacking anyone else's. The figure demonstrates mastery over beast within, over primal, reactive, fear-based impulses that so many people operate from. What I'm picking up is your manifestation practices have involved significant inner work, shadow integration, emotional regulation, cultivation of genuine spiritual courage. You've been taming your own doubts, your own fears, your own limiting beliefs about abundance and deservingness. The spiritual work this person discovered shows evidence of someone doing real work of transformation rather than seeking quick fixes or external shortcuts. Here's what's fascinating about strength appearing in this reading about someone becoming ill after learning about your practices. The illness they're experiencing is direct result of their own untamed shadow, their own unintegrated fears and jealousies, their own spiritual weakness being confronted with evidence of your spiritual strength. When you work with energy at level strength represents, when you're operating from genuine spiritual power and alignment, that energy creates mirror effect for anyone around you operating from lower frequencies. They see their own weakness reflected back. They feel discomfort of recognizing how far they are from their own power. The contrast between your patient, consistent, loving approach to manifestation and their desperate, grasping, manipulative approach to getting what they want creates kind of spiritual illness in them. They're confronting reality that while you've been building real power, they've been indulging their worst impulses. The lion represents raw creative and manifestation power, same force the King of Wands wields, but shown here in more primal form. Your spiritual practice has been about learning to work with this power skillfully, with respect, with wisdom, with love as foundation. King of Cups emerged and brought this masterful emotional and spiritual maturity that completely shifts the energy of this reading. This king sits on throne surrounded by water, yet remains completely stable, holding his cup with authority while ocean waves crash around him, and there's a fish leaping in the background and a ship sailing distant waters. When I pulled this card, I immediately felt we're looking at the emotional and spiritual mastery you've developed that's been absolutely crucial to your manifestation work, and also represents the ultimate contrast to the person who's been working against you. The King of Cups represents someone who's achieved complete emotional sovereignty, who can navigate the depths of feeling and intuition without being overwhelmed or knocked off center. In context of money coming to you and someone discovering your spiritual work, this king reveals you've been operating from a place of deep emotional maturity and spiritual wisdom in all your practices. You haven't been manifesting from desperation or emotional neediness. You haven't been doing protection work from fear or paranoia. You've been working from this King of Cups energy, which is grounded, wise, compassionate, yet boundaried, emotionally intelligent, and spiritually aware. What I'm sensing is that your manifestation practices have included significant emotional healing work, processing of past wounds around money and worthiness, clearing of ancestral patterns related to poverty consciousness, and cultivation of genuine emotional readiness to receive abundance. The King of Cups doesn't just want prosperity. He's emotionally prepared to handle it with grace and wisdom. He understands that money is energy, and that receiving it requires emotional maturity to steward it properly. This is why your incoming financial abundance is going to be sustainable and growth-oriented rather than destabilizing. You've done the emotional work to be ready for it. The connection to someone becoming ill after discovering your spiritual work is particularly powerful with this card. The King of Cups represents emotional mastery and healthy relationship with the unconscious realm, with intuition, with spiritual practice. The person who's been affected negatively represents the opposite. They've been operating from unhealed emotional wounds, from unprocessed jealousy and insecurity, from toxic emotional patterns they haven't done the work to transform. When they discovered evidence of your King of Cups level spiritual practice, your emotional maturity in how you approach manifestation and protection, it created a crisis for them. They're confronting how emotionally immature and spiritually unsophisticated their own approach has been. The illness they're experiencing has emotional and psychosomatic components. They're literally being made sick by the dissonance between the emotional chaos they operate from and the emotional mastery they've seen evidence of in your work. The King of Cups also represents counseling, healing, and spiritual guidance, which suggests that your practices may have included working with mentors, therapists, spiritual teachers, or deep self-inquiry that's given you tools and perspectives this other person lacks. You've invested in your emotional and spiritual development in ways they haven't, and that investment is now paying dividends both in material abundance and in karmic protection. Page of Cups emerged and brought this gentle, dreamy, emotionally open energy that feels like message arriving from spiritual realm. This page holds cup from which fish emerges, representing surprising, emotional, and intuitive information. And the figure's stance suggests someone receptive, youthful in spirit, open to magical possibilities. When I pulled this card, I immediately sensed we're looking at moment of discovery, the actual revealing of your spiritual work to this other person. The Page of Cups represents messages of emotional and spiritual nature, often unexpected news or information that changes someone's emotional landscape. What I'm picking up is this person didn't just logically figure out you'd been doing spiritual work. They received message, revelation, intuitive hit, or they stumbled upon something that revealed your practices in a way that felt almost magical or fated. The fish emerging from cup symbolizes something from depths of unconscious, rising to conscious awareness. They were forced to confront what you'd been doing on emotional and spiritual level, and that confrontation happened through page energy, meaning it was somewhat innocent or unexpected on surface, but carried profound implications. I'm sensing this could have happened through dream, through synchronicities piling up until they couldn't be ignored, through accidentally discovering something physical related to your practices, or through sudden intuitive knowing that crashed into their consciousness. The Page of Cups brings creative, imaginative, emotionally rich information, which suggests however they discovered your work, it affected them on deep feeling level. They didn't just intellectually process what you'd been doing. They felt it. They were emotionally impacted by realization of your spiritual power and practice. For someone operating from devil energy who's been trapped in toxic patterns and lower frequency intentions toward you, discovering evidence of your genuine spiritual dedication and power through this Page of Cups energy would be deeply disturbing. It's like they were living in reality, where they believed they had some advantage or power over you, and suddenly message arrived that completely disrupted that illusion. The Page of Cups shows them receiving information that your spiritual life is rich, active, intentional, effective. This revelation is what's made them sick because it's forced them to feel truth of what they've been doing and what you've been becoming. Four of Wands appeared, and instantly I felt celebration, stability, completion, joyful achievement flooding the reading. This card shows four wands creating canopy decorated with flowers and fruit, with figures dancing and celebrating beneath, and in background there's sense of homecoming and secure foundation. When this card emerged, I knew we're looking at what's being built and celebrated as a result of everything we've been exploring. The Four of Wands represents manifestation of stable success, creation of something worth celebrating, establishment of foundation that will support future growth. What I'm picking up strongly is money coming to you isn't just going to pass through your hands temporarily. It's going to help you build or strengthen foundation in your life. This could be related to home, to business you're establishing, to partnership or collaboration that's going to create lasting prosperity, or to finally achieving level of financial stability that allows you to relax and celebrate after a long period of struggle or uncertainty. The four wands creating this canopy structure represent four elements working in harmony, four corners of manifestation aligned and stable. Your spiritual work has been about bringing these elements into balance, creating conditions for abundance to not just arrive, but to stay and grow. The celebratory energy tells me when this money comes through, when this manifestation lands, people are going to celebrate with you. This isn't going to be private, hidden blessing you keep to yourself. The Four of Wands is about community acknowledgement, shared joy, letting others witness your success and happiness. This connects back to Sun card's energy of visible, undeniable blessing. What's really interesting is how this relates to someone being affected by discovering your spiritual work. The Four of Wands represents harmony, peace, stable foundation, which is exactly what they've been trying to prevent in your life. By attempting to block your success, by sending negative energy your way, by trying to keep you struggling, they were working against this Four of Wands energy establishing itself in your experience. Now that they've discovered you've been actively and effectively working to manifest exactly this kind of stable, celebrated success, they're confronting futility of their efforts and karmic consequences of trying to prevent someone else's rightful blessings. Page of Wands bounced into this reading with such enthusiastic, excited, fresh energy that I immediately understood we're looking at new beginnings, inspired messages, spark of something creative and adventurous about to ignite in your life. This page holds wand and gazes at it with fascination and determination, standing in barren landscape that suggests unlimited potential waiting to be shaped by vision and action. What struck me when this card appeared is how it represents both message coming to you and energy you're embodying as you move into this next phase. The Page of Wands brings news of opportunities, creative possibilities, adventures that align with your passions and vision. In context of money coming your way, this page suggests financial abundance isn't just going to be passive income or simple paycheck increase. It's connected to new opportunities, fresh projects, creative ventures, or inspired ideas that excite you and make you eager to take action. I'm picking up you might receive offer, proposal, or information about opportunity that lights up your creativity and enthusiasm. This could be related to turning passion into profit, being recognized for your unique talents, or discovering a way to monetize something you're genuinely excited about. The Page of Wands is fearless, optimistic, ready to explore, which tells me you're being called to embrace more adventurous approach to abundance. The connection to your spiritual work being discovered is fascinating here. The Page of Wands represents messages and messengers, and in this reading, it's showing me that word of your capabilities, your power, your success is going to spread. The person who discovered your spiritual practices isn't going to keep that information to themselves. Whether through their illness, making it obvious something has happened, through their inability to hide their reaction, or through direct communication, others are going to become aware that you're someone with real power and that crossing you or underestimating you has consequences. This isn't about you being vindictive or threatening. It's simply natural result of your light becoming too bright to ignore and karmic lessons playing out in visible ways. The Page of Wands energy suggests your reputation is about to shift. People are going to see you differently, with more respect, more caution, more recognition of your abilities, both material and spiritual. This shift in how you're perceived is going to open doors that were previously closed. The reading closes with powerful reminder that everything we've explored represents real spiritual and material transformation happening in your life right now, Taurus. From toxic devil energy that someone has been trapped in while directing negativity toward you through your dedicated Eight of Pentacles practice and mastery, into brilliant sun-illuminated success that's becoming undeniable, grounded in Queen of Pentacles' abundant wisdom, expressed through King of Wands' creative power, sustained by gentle strength of your spiritual fortitude, matured through King of Cups' emotional sovereignty, revealed through Page of Cups' unexpected message, celebrated in Four of Wands' joyful foundation, and launched into new possibilities through Page of Wands' enthusiastic inspiration. This is your story, unfolding exactly as it needs to. The money coming to you is absolutely real, and it's connected to every bit of work you've been doing on every level. Someone discovering your spiritual practices and experiencing consequences from that discovery is also real. And it's universe demonstrating that authentic spiritual work rooted in growth and alignment creates ripples that affect everyone in your orbit. You've been working with integrity, with dedication, with genuine commitment to your highest good. And now that energy is manifesting in ways you can see, spend, and celebrate. Remember, this is about you claiming what's rightfully yours through proper channels and spiritual alignment, not about harming anyone else. The illness or discomfort this other person experiences is their own karma catching up with them, their own negative intentions bouncing back, their own spiritual violations creating consequences. That's not your burden to carry or feel guilty about. Your job is to receive your blessings with grace, to continue your spiritual practices with same dedication and purity of intention you've been bringing to them, and to let your success speak for itself. The cards show everything is unfolding in divine timing and perfect order. Trust the process, trust your power, trust that universe sees your efforts and is responding in kind. This money, this recognition, this shift in your material circumstances is just beginning of what's possible when you align spiritual practice with material action. Stay grounded, like Queen of Pentacles. Stay strong, like Strength card teaches. Emotionally sovereign, like King of Cups demonstrates. Open, like Page of Cups embodies. Enthusiastic, like Page of Wands shows. And watch as your reality transforms to match vision you've been holding and work you've been doing.